Welcome to How Do They Afford That, the podcast that peeks into the financial lives of everyday Australians. I'm Michael Thompson. I'm a writer and the co-host of the podcast Fear and Greed Business News. I'm joined, as always, in the studio by Canna Campbell, financial planner and founder of Sugar Mama TV, which is a financial literacy platform that you'll find online, on YouTube, I nearly said on a YouTube, making myself sound about 600 years old, on podcasts and books, Instagram, Threads, TikTok and more. Good morning, Canna.
Good morning. I'm excited about today's episode.
You're always excited about our episodes.
I am. I'm excited about financial education.
Yes. Otherwise, you would be in the wrong career.
Oh dear, my poor brain. I need more coffee.
We are off to a good start. Look, today's topic, we know, we're starting with an assumption here that everybody knows that money doesn't buy happiness. But considering that we have to spend money at some point, we're going to have to do it. Everyone has to do it every day. Surely there is a way to do it that makes you happier than others do, right? So today, I wanted to find out more about mindful spending, if that is even a thing. Is it?
Of course it's a thing.
Well, no, I don't know that mindful money is a thing. And my
book's called Mindful Money. But, okay, mindful spending is about using your money guilt-free to buy things that actually give you this nutritious, sustainable satisfaction and pleasure in your life.
Can I ask you, before you go any further, is this all just about feeling good, or can mindfulness and mindful money actually be better for your budget as well?
Good question. So I would say the mindfulness element is the most important point here, because that's where you create the awareness.
Okay.
And I would say mindful spending is very subjective. Like for you, you might really value spending money on quirky cat t-shirts because you're a cat person. That's what gives you immense joy, satisfaction. It fills your cup. And it fills your cup in the right way so that you don't need to go and buy other types of t-shirts. So you know that awareness that the t-shirt, the quirky cat t-shirt or the weird ass reindeer shirt that you like to wear sometimes actually that embraces your style. It makes you feel good about yourself inside, and it makes you feel, when you go to wear it every morning, that you don't feel the need to go and rush out and fill a void somewhere else in your life, because you fill that void with your quirky t-shirt purchase.
Okay. Have you ever seen me, apart from when I wore a reindeer shirt once for our Christmas episode, have you ever seen me in a t-shirt that is any other colour except for grey or white?
Striped?
Yes, that's fair.
And, I could say maybe flannies, like you love a good flanny.
Yeah. Oh, this is a formal flanny. It's a dress flanny.
It's got buttons on the collar.
Yeah, it's buttons everywhere. I just leave it unbuttoned because it's cool. Because I'm cool.
So am I.
Now, mindful spending. Then, so where has this come from? Is this a recent kind of thing? Because it feels like it's this idea that you should be mindful in the way that you spend your money has come about in the last decade or so.
Look, the concept of mindfulness, comes from obviously various religions and secular traditions that go back, thousands of years. But I think today the mindfulness obviously has a mental health undertone to it.
Yep.
And I'd say that a lot of that, when it comes to mindfulness and money and spending and shopping, is, I think, social media, instant gratification of online shopping, and the awareness of how important financial well-being is to our overall sense of well-being. It's not just about being fit and healthy and strong and, eating the right minerals and nutrients and vitamins. Also, that financial element as well is also an important pillar as to how we feel about ourselves.
Okay. Look, I am going to play the devil's advocate a little bit with this one, because it's not completely out there, but it's a little bit out there, kind of in terms of it's not a very tangible kind of concept. It's not like when we're talking about investments and you can actually see that kind of tracking, etc., and see how the performance of this is. This is very much something that is quite subjective. I'm assuming then that it is hard to do mindful spending for some things. Like you can be kind of in the right mindset and you can like kind of try and put your money into things that are going to bring you joy and nourish you, etc. But it is difficult to do mindful spending on non-discretionary stuff like your power bill or your groceries and things.
I disagree.
I am not surprised.
Sometimes I think I just say I disagree when actually I really do agree. But I just feel like just
rejecting me. Yeah.
So for me, mindfulness is not just about like saving money. It actually is about, it goes, I guess, wider. You know, it's about respecting the planet and the community and charity. So, you know, maybe being mindful with your money and mindful spending is maybe when you look at the power bills, you go, okay, well, maybe we need to switch to solar power. So that obviously might help you save money, but it's also better for the planet. Or when you're doing your grocery shopping, you might make the conscious effort to go, you know what, I think I'm going to try and do some of my grocery shopping now at the farmers markets. Or I'm going to be purchasing the odd bunch more, you know. Or maybe it's about investing ethically. You know, when next time you go to buy some shares, you think, okay, I'm going to look at some ethical funds. Or perhaps next time you go to upgrade your car or move your car over, you look at, okay, well, all right, maybe it's time I now look at an electric car or a hybrid car. Or maybe I look at using public transport more because that's better for the planet. Or maybe I look at a regular contribution plan to a charity, sponsoring a child or a family.
And look, that is very, very worthy and worthwhile. I do wonder, though, then when we are talking about, okay, with your groceries that you're going to kind of buy from a farmer's market or something, it feels as though being frugal or being cautious with your money and trying to limit your spending can at times be incompatible with mindful spending, because you're probably going to spend more if you go off to a farmer's market, or there's going to be more of your time is going to be required to do it, because suddenly you're having to split your shop between the supermarkets and the farmer's market, when in the past you just did it all at one.
Well, this is where I think that misconception of being mindful with your money is. It's not necessarily about being frugal. Frugal is a bonus, but it's actually about, as I said, that sustainable, nutritious fulfillment.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm just trying to figure out whether the two can exist, whether they can coexist, and you can still be on a budget and stick to your budget and make mindful decisions about these things that really are largely set in terms of your groceries and things.
I believe yes, because you feel good about the purchases you're making.
Yeah.
You don't feel this need to blow money elsewhere because you've spent it wisely and you're really satisfied with that.
Okay.
Kind of like going to a restaurant, ordering a salad.
Yeah.
You have this delicious tuna salad. It fills you up. You feel re-energized. You don't feel bloated and full if you eat, compared to, say, eating a big bowl of pasta. Now, leaving the restaurant, are you going to go and eat a big bowl of ice cream after you just filled yourself up with a salad?
Probably.
No, probably not. You're feeling really good about the decision you made to eat a big, healthy, nutritious tuna salad.
Yes, but we always have a second stomach for dessert. It is called your dessert stomach.
But maybe I'm speaking from personal experience, but if I ate crap for dinner, I don't feel good about myself. So I then go and deal with that feeling of feeling crap about myself by loading up on more crap food.
Okay.
That makes sense. It's probably a very
it does.
analogy, but it's like the idea of exercise. When we are exercising, we invest time going to the gym or going for that run or going for that bike ride or working out outdoors in a gym or wherever it may be. When we've invested that time taking care of ourselves, we are less likely to go and self-destruct. And we are less likely to go and, have that extra glass of wine because it's taken us, we feel so good by what we've just done for ourselves. Why would we want to go and undo all that hard work?
Okay, so you may end up saving money then by not spending excessively because you are satisfied with the purchases that you have made. So maybe while some of these things are more expensive in the first place, that you will be buying a smaller quantity.
Yes, it's like quality over quantity kind of way of thinking, you could say.
Oh, well, now I understand.
I don't know why I didn't think of explaining it that way in the first
There we go.
place.
No,
my tuna salad analogy.
No, that did work. I mean, it just didn't work with me because of the dessert stomach. Who is this best suited for? And I asked this probably guessing that there isn't really any one person that it's best suited for. It feels as though people who might get the most value out of a shift towards a mindful spending approach would be those who have perhaps impulse spending challenges.
Not necessarily.
Can you just give me something?
Okay, fine. Anyone that has like an impulse purchasing problem. But, anyone that goes, actually, I just want to feel better about myself. I want to feel more responsible. I want to feel empowered. I want to actually know that I'm using my money in a smart, intelligent, wise, efficient, effective way. I just want to feel fulfilled.
Okay. And look, I'm sorry, I'm probably coming into this with the approach that I often take to manifesting March as well, where I'm going, I am a skeptic and you must prove this to me.
Wait until you hear my results for manifesting March. Whew.
What we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, let's break it down into some really useful, tangible tips.
Okay.
Some really straightforward, I reckon 5 tips.
Done.
Will be about, right? And I'm even going to nominate my own mindful spending tip.
All right. Here
which
we go.
I'm sure has a reasonable chance of being wrong. We will come back in a moment and do that. All right, Canna, we are talking about mindful spending, and it's been an education for me because I thought the idea of mindful spending, I understand the principle of it, that it is about kind of spending with intent and making sure that what you are doing with your money is going to actually bring you joy, is actually going to bring you kind of that nourishment, and it is not just, it's not the opposite of mindful spending, which is mindless spending, where you're just kind of spending without regard kind of for where the money is going and for the stuff that you're bringing into your life and into your household.
I like the way you explain that.
I do
why
too.
couldn't I explain it that way?
I was just listening going, this is great. Michael, you're coming up with some gold here.
Yeah. Who are you?
You know what? There is actually a chance here that, what are we now, kind of episode 80 or something? Maybe I've actually started to learn something.
Thanks. I'm like, we're coming up to our 2-year podcasting anniversary and you're finally learning something. Great.
There you go. And look, I operate on the principle as if you can teach me, you can teach anyone. Basically, lowest common denominator. That's me. 5 tips for mindful spending.
All right. So I'm going to share with you one of my purchases.
Mm-hmm.
So every year, if I have achieved my goals, not just my financial goals, but my personal goals, which include like educational goals and even spiritual goals,
mm-hmm.
I will allow myself to purchase a beautiful handbag. Just one beautiful handbag. So this is the sort of process that I follow because I want to make sure that that handbag is the one, okay? And there's no regrets. So I would say number 1 is do your research. So if it's a purchase, it's a mindful purchase, you investigate. You do a deep dive to all the different types and brands. And obviously you can apply the idea of a handbag to whether it be a piece of equipment, it might be a holiday, it might be something, what are you looking at me like that for?
No, I'm wishing now that I'd gotten in first and given my tip because I suspect you are now going to use it within yours.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's
Not
fine.
really.
Mine wasn't very good. Mine was just basically don't buy straight away. Mine was wait and consider if you really need what it is that you're doing.
Well, that's my step number 4. So,
oh, is it?
yeah.
Okay.
Easy up, Tiger.
Oh,
So,
sorry. Back to do your research.
do your research.
Yep.
Look at all the different options
Mm-hmm.
because when we shop mindlessly, we just rush out and buy the first thing we see quite often,
Mm-hmm.
not realizing that actually just around the corner there's something that's even better. So press pause, do your research, understand all the different options that are out there. Then it's about taking your research into the quality over quantity. I'm someone who, when I buy a handbag, sometimes it does involve spending a little bit more, but I want that handbag to stand the test of time. I want to be wearing that handbag in 15, 20 years' time. So for me, researching something that's timeless, that's really good quality, is versatile, can be worn and styled in different ways for various different occasions and different outfits is really important. Then step number 3, if you really want to look at mindfulness and mindful spending is considering pre-loved. Because as I
yeah.
said, touching on the planet and being responsible and respectful is also an important, I guess, underlying message of mindfulness. So looking at, the Real, Vestiaire Collective, eBay, Depop, looking for a bag that I can buy, which will also might happen to help me save money, but it means it's not going to landfill. And then, of course, as you said, you jumped the gun with your tip number 1, which is my tip number 4, and that is saving up. I would never put a purchase like this, a special purchase, that's going to make me feel, satisfied and guilt-free on credit card. So using the time to save up small amounts throughout the year so that if I've achieved those goals, and that's obviously the priority and non-negotiable, I can reward myself with that purchase, and that purchase does not damage my financial well-being. I'm not contradicting, my advice, and I'm not destroying all the hard work that I've done.
Okay.
And I will say there is something really wonderful about saving up for something, that delayed gratification. You appreciate it so much more.
Yeah.
It's so much more meaningful and special.
And it's a good lesson to teach kids.
Oh, yeah,
too.
Absolutely. I actually miss the old lay-by. When you would go to the store and buy something, and you have to pay it off, and you turn up each week and hand over your $50. And when you made your final payment, then you could take that item away. It was so fulfilling.
Can you still do it?
The stores don't like it because it is it's inefficient use of their time.
Yeah.
Doing all the lodging of the payments, collecting the payments, putting it in the system, giving a receipt. It's not efficient. And also it creates a problem for a lot of stores because they have to hold on to that item until you've paid it off.
Physically store it.
Which is why buy now, pay later has, one of the reasons why it's been obviously so well supported and used and encouraged. So then, of course, and then finally step number 5 is to really take care of that item, making sure that you do get that long-term love, make sure that you take, pride and love that item so that it still looks brand new 10, 15 years down the track. And I have a massive weakness for designer handbags. I love a beautiful handbag, and my bags I keep them in their soft bag. I make sure that if they ever get tired, I take them to a bootmaker, and he will clean them up for me and repolish things or fix up any scratches or anything like that. But I take care because it's about having something special of mine that I can eventually pass down to my daughters or my son if he wants to use them. And so that to me is what mindful spending is. And I've used obviously a very specific example there, but hopefully that makes it understandable.
I like that. We have a problem we are kind of drowning in stuff in our house. It is cluttered. And I kind of look at that and go, all right, clearly a lot of stuff has come into our house. We've bought a lot of things over a long period of time and we just don't get rid of it. But you kind of go, okay, if you were to take the mindful spending approach to the accumulation of those items, you would not end up with that amount of stuff in your house. It would allow you to live a more perhaps minimalist kind of existence, but perhaps just be surrounded by stuff that has more meaning as well and doesn't just accumulate and doesn't create this stress and this pressure of just living in rooms crowded with clutter. So I know I started out as a bit of a skeptic, but it was really just to test you, I suppose.
I will say, though, as a mother of 3, and, Tom is extremely messy and dirty and a massive hoarder, and so are his daughters. Children do make it very hard. And you are, constantly picking your battles, and, you're trying to support their growth and their development and also support their interests. And 1 week they want to play with Play-Doh and they're collecting Paw Patrol, and then 2 weeks later it's now Care Bears and My Little Ponies, and you're trying to keep up with that and be there for them. And you're also got guilt and responsibilities, all those sorts of things. And, I do admit I go down that path with children. I can get caught up in the mindless spending just to quickly fix the solution and keep the peace. So there is a fine line, but that awareness, coming back to that awareness, I think is really important in helping you find your way and your path again.
I like this. This feels like it's something obviously that you are quite passionate about. But it's good because it's not necessarily something that's just about saving money.
No.
It is about just being more mindful with that money and making more meaningful decisions.
And I will say from personal experience, being mindful with money, both in spending and investing, has definitely helped, I think, my mental health journey, and definitely has helped alleviate, stress and anxiety. So hopefully other people may find some, help in this.
So just to recap those 5 tips for mindful spending, do your research is number 1. Quality over quantity, which was a great discussion that we had before. Pre-loved, consider pre-loved, and because as part of that, then the impact on the planet, which is very, very important. Saving up, delayed gratification. Don't use credit. Kind of just, if you can save up throughout the year, it does make it more meaningful when you do eventually kind of reach that goal. And then number 5, the 5th tip was take care of the item, that it's not just the initial spend that's important. It's also then the meaning and the value that it brings to your life after that. And so for that, you need to take care of it. You need to value it. You need to cherish it. And then it kind of completes the mindful spending circle of life. So I feel like I need to hold up kind of Simba.
We need to see that say Lion King.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Now, if the lights in the studio just went boom, boom, boom now, and they all just went down. Well, look, allow me just to finish off with the savings hack. And I'm sorry, it feels like your spirits are low right now, and this is going to crush you, because this is another person that has come to me with a savings hack, all because I stole your phone a number of weeks ago and put a message on your Instagram asking your followers to come over to me on Instagram, Michael Thompson Author, and send me the savings tips instead. And this one comes from Mia. And she says, "Hi, Michael. Just wanted to share my little savings hack for you and not for Canna." That she specifically called it out, which I really appreciate that. She says, "I work in a busy ED, an emergency department, with the Maccas across the road. On night duties, I love this. Everyone wants nugs or coffees, but couldn't be bothered walking across the road at 3 a.m. So I will gladly offer taking everyone's orders, and they all pay ID me. So kind of give your phone number and they all transfer the money quickly and easily to her." She goes, "I order it through my account on the My Maccas app, collect the points, and so all of my free Maccas coffees comes from the points I've accumulated or earned through being the only one willing to actually go for a walk or drive across the road." She says, "It is a major win." She says, "PS, I'll always get a large with almond milk with my points, as no matter what size or milk, there's no payment." And then she said, wrapping things up, "Tip for anyone working with a team near any cafe, even those loyalty cards that get stamped earn your free coffees through being the one willing to walk over and carry everything back. Take one for the team and it pays off."
That's cool. I like that.
Isn't that good?
That's clever.
Yeah, and that's earning it, really, isn't it? And I don't think anyone would begrudge that, because if me is willing to be the one to walk across the road at 3 o'clock in the morning and pick up everyone's coffees and nugs, she's welcome to the points.
Exactly. She deserves them. She's earned them.
Yeah, much like I earned the tip coming to me instead of going to you.
Through my Instagram account.
Yeah.
My phone you stole.
Yeah, it feels like that was an unnecessary jab I took just there, just to finally finish this off. All right, how do we find you?
The best place to get in contact with me is Instagram. So send me a DM there and I'll come back to you as soon as I possibly can.
And that is Sugar Mama TV?
Yes.
All right, and you can hear me every day with Sean Aylmer on Fear and Greed, the business news podcast for people who make their own decisions. Thank you for listening to How Do They Afford That? Remember to hit follow on the podcast, and please leave us a review and a rating as well. Next week, we are talking about financial priorities. Should you pay off the mortgage first, then sort out your super, or should you be putting all your money into investing? It is a common question, and next week we're going to try and answer it. Don't miss it.